Yes. See, in the first video, I have given you explanation till terms of office, oath of secrecy, and rest, some details about salary and allowances. Now I am going to start with powers and functions of the cabinet. What are the powers and functions of the cabinet? Just see, the first heading is administrative powers. Administrative powers means related to administration of a particular department. The first under this particular category is policy making. What do we mean by policy making? Policy making means any policies to be framed, any new rule have to be framed, something have to be changed in pre-existing rules and regulations. All that work is done by cabinet ministers. So when you go through this point, you can just see the cabinet formulates both external and domestic policies. External means related to other countries, international policies and programs. And domestic means within the country. What program and policy have to be adopted? What the changes can be done? How these changes are going to make the country more developed and prospered? All these things can be decided by cabinet ministers. Next one under this category is implementation of policies. Yes, policies already framed by cabinet and other ministers under the guidance of prime minister and president. But how these policies are going to be executed? Who is going to implement these policies? Actually, basically, once a policy is framed, then it is duty of ministers to convey the message related to policy which they have framed in company of prime minister and president to give description to the civil servants, IPS and IAS officers under them. And now the prime duty of IAS and IPS officers is to work on that particular policies in detail. Means practically the policies which were framed by the ministers, they are going to be adopted and they are going to be enacted, they are going to be implemented by the IAS and IPS officers of a particular region. In this way, the policy which was framed at the higher level, it will move to a little bit lower, and from the lower level it will move one by one, step by step to the lowest level, that is the common public. Third one, coordinating the functioning of various ministers. Yes, this is also work of cabinet. I have already given you description. I already gave you detailed information about this. How the three categories of ministers, that is cabinet ministers, ministers of state and deputy ministers, they are interlinked to each other. Under this particular point, coordinating the functioning of various ministries or ministers, you can put this thing in remark that whenever some department have to be coordinated, whenever some programs have to be coordinated, the coordination is going to be done according to the three categories of the ministers and according to the duties given to them, according to duties assigned to them. And last point under administrative functions is appointments. Yes, some of the appointments are going to be done by president. Basically, president is making these appointments, but these appointments are done on the suggestions given by prime minister and other cabinet ministers. Such as, what are those appointments? See, appointment of high court judges and supreme court judges, appointment of chief justice of India, appointment of different officials, for example, governors of state, chief election commissioner, and attorney general of the country. All these appointments are done by president, but these are being done on recommendation or on advice of cabinet and prime minister. Now we have to move to the next one, legislative function. Legislative function actually means law making function. When we speak about legislative function, we have to keep it in mind that this is law making function. Under law making function, the primary thing is to introduce a bill. First of all, what do you mean by bill, or what is a bill? See, you all know this thing very well. We just rule the country according to different rules and regulations which are taken over in Constitution of India. When you will see that we are following those rules which are kept there under the category of or under a particular constitution given to us by our senior ministers of that time, automatically it is our duty to follow that particular rules and regulations enrolled in it. But sometimes, according to time, according to criteria, these bills, these rules actually, which are enrolled there in the constitution, they need to get changed. They need to have some alteration. They need to be altered from time to time. So this is our primary duty. When we speak about legislative powers, then it is our primary duty. We have to see whether the laws which are already there in the constitution, they are working, they are okay or not, and if some changes have to be done. You have already read about this introduction of bill and passing of the bill and all this you have already read in previous chapter also. Lesson number 1 also you have read when we have read about Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And here I am once again repeating. Under introduction of bill, different kind of bill, different varieties of bill can be introduced in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as per the importance, as per the preference or as per the duty given to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha separately. One thing. Second thing, these bills can never become law or they can never be enrolled in constitution unless and until Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, it passes these bills to become a permanent law. So it is main duty of cabinet ministers. They have to think of, they have to formulate those bills which are not there in the constitution or which have to be formulated, which have to be included in the constitution as some changes are needed from time to time in the society. And thus that bills can be enrolled. First, that bills have to be passed as proposals in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. After passing the bill according to the criteria decided by the constitution, that bill can be made a law. That bill can be officially enrolled in the constitution by having signature, by having permission from Honorable President of the country. Okay. Now, second point under legislative functions. Source of information. Yes. Ministers, they are responsible for their different departments, and that's why wherever Lok Sabha and Lok Sabha members, they need any information about their department, they need any clarifications about their department, they have to give that department's clarifications, they have to give all the details related to their particular departments. Then third one, amendment to the constitution. See, amendment to the constitution is related to the first part, that is introduction of the bills. Amendment means changes. Changes in the constitution can be done only when a bill is introduced in the Lok Sabha and that bill gets passed by the member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Fourth one, summoning the houses. Summoning means, to summon means to call out. See, the houses are summoned by president. An initiative can be taken by any of the minister or ministry. Why? For example, there is a need of the hour. There is some emergency. Then that particular minister can give a reminder to president. Sir, we need to come together in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, and according to that, president can give a order. He can give information about this particular matter. Fifth one, president's special address. Yes, address actually means speech. When this president's special address takes place, I have told you about general election. After general election, when Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the ministers, they are nominated, they are appointed to this particular two houses, different houses, then it is primary duty of president to address, to give a speech in front of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in a combined form in parliament. And that particular address is referred as president's special address. Then, sixth one, issuing ordinances. What do you mean by ordinance? I have already told you, ordinances are temporary rules, temporary orders passed by president when both the houses are not in session. Who is having the eligibility? Only president of the country has the eligibility to pass these ordinances. But these ordinances can be passed when some cabinet members or when some cabinet ministers, they advise president to do so. With this, your legislative powers, they also end up. Now, you can move to the third one, financial power. Under financial power, the first thing is budget. Already you know this thing very well, that there are two kind of budgets in India. One is financial budget and one is railway budget. Financial budget means general budget, and railway budget means it is related to every kind of expenditure related to transportation and import. Okay? So it is under budget, you can see it is primary duty of finance minister to prepare the budget. And what kind of budget will be prepared by the financial minister? He is going to prepare the annual budget, or it is known as the general budget. But railway minister under the government, whichever party is ruling the country, the railway minister is having the duty to prepare the railway budget. And all the expenses, all the incomes, all the taxes, all the changes which will be done for the coming year, for the coming session, for the coming 1 year, that all have to be mentioned under financial powers. And general budget will carry all the other expenses, while railway budget will basically carry the expenses related to aviation, transport, export, import, all these things. Okay. Now, your second point under financial power is finances to the government. From where the finances for the government will come? Which money will the government use? Actually, these finances are the money. These finances are those money which government collects in form of taxes. So it is primary duty of cabinet ministers only, before passing the budget, they have to decide what is going to be the taxation policy, and that taxation policy will be formulated and it will be passed under annual budget, so that people of country, they may know and they can fulfill the demand of the tax from government side. One thing. Second thing, it is also one primary duty of the cabinet ministers to use this tax for the welfare schemes, to use this tax for the development schemes. Third one, introduction of money bills. Yes, money bill can only be introduced only Lok Sabha. So basically, in case of money bill, Rajya Sabha is not having that much of importance. So we just say basically Lok Sabha is only having the duty and responsibility to pass a bill related to money matters, and Lok Sabha only has the primary duty to check the money bill, whether that bill is okay or not, whether that should be passed or not. Now, after this you have emergency powers. Actually, about emergency, 3 kinds of emergencies we have read in the chapter, and where we have read about President of India. Again, only President of the country has the power to declare emergency, whether that emergency is general emergency, whether that emergency is financial emergency, or whether that emergency is emergency related to some war. One thing. Second thing is this, that when emergency is proclaimed in the country, when emergency is declared in the country, it is primary duty of the people of India, along with all the ministers of cabinet, along with all the members of the cabinet, to go and see what they can do in order to support President of the country at the time of financial or general emergency. Second thing, whatever be the circumstances, whichever government is ruling the country, whether President is considered as a nominal head, but it is primary duty of Prime Minister of the country and his cabinet to give his utmost support to President of the country, so that all these decisions related to emergency and other things can be done, can be taken in a proper way at a proper time.